Alright, so due to some demand, I have decided to start documenting the building of my Tomberlin Crossfire 150, turning it from an off-road cart to a street cart, planning on autocrossing this cart. And since I've already done so much work, I figured probably this episode and maybe the next would just be focused on catching up on what all I've done so far since it was stock. I do have some pictures and videos, so I'll probably throw those up to show you kind of what it looked like. But this will probably be kind of a catching up on what it was like when it was completely stock until it is now. So really the first thing that ever happened to this cart is a lot of these off-road buggies. I call it like a Honda Odyssey clone almost, because they're pretty similar, but this had a GY6 clone 150cc with a CVT running back here. We cut the frame out, took the engine out. The engine literally had a rat's nest inside of the cylinder, and we took that out, threw it away, and I now have a Predator 459 with a 40 series CVT from OMB Warehouse that we're going to be putting on. I have ran that 186 over there in the corner on it just to test to make sure that this setup does work, and it got up to about 45 with the 196 making about 9-ish horsepower. The 459 is going to be probably 16, 17 with the CVT. 196 was on a clutch, so the 459 should be significantly quicker. But I also hadn't lowered it yet, and that's what I want to get to next, is the RFY coilovers. These have adjustable spring rates. You can see at the top it's way more loaded than the bottom, and these collars do not adjust ride height. They actually adjust the spring rate. So when they're all the way at the top, it's almost like an off-road suspension. The setting, like literally me standing in it, you see the height it's at now, stand in it with the spring rate all the way off and it will drop another 2 inches and it'll bottom out. But with it down all the way, it's much more like a stiffer autocross race suspension. They are also gas shocks, so I can adjust the dampening with the gas. Have them for all four, front and rear. So yeah, these are I'm hoping they hold up pretty well. They look to be pretty good. They were maybe 180 bucks for all four, not difficult to install. It's really just finding the length that you need, and then the eye size, which this happens to be a 10 millimeter front and rear, and then the distance is 21 millimeters. So a lot of shocks will fit. These are actually motorcycle shocks, so they're not difficult to find. They seem to be pretty well so far. And something that I have done recently is these panels. These are just cut from Home Depot. My hood panel, my side panels, and then also my fan that I've mounted. This is just a 7-inch fan off of Amazon. And the only reason this is there is because eventually this will all be filled in with aluminum, and there's not gonna be much airflow getting to the engine. So I'd rather have a fan. It is wired up. Oh, I messed up. That's my gauges. These are wired up too. Voltage and speedometer. Speedometer box is ran here. Ignition switch here. But this is the fan. So yeah, all that's wired up, but I'm getting off track. Anyways, there's going to be a wall right here, so not much air is going to get to the engine. This is going to be a firewall for autocross. Just in case something happens back here, this will all be enclosed and nothing will come forward into the driver's area. So yeah, the fan wasn't difficult to wire up. Literally just 2 wires, runs all the way up. And my wiring harness runs along the side. This is a full custom harness. Nothing was used off the original cart. Runs up into the switches. That's gonna be my ignition. Already saw the gauges, fan switch, and then the switch for the gauges. Light switch is not wired up because I don't know what I want to do with the lights as of yet. And then off topic again. Well, I guess not off topic. I'm just talking about the go-kart. Floor is bed linered. We decided to do that. The whole cart was yellow previously, and I didn't do great painting. You can still see the yellow in some spots, especially on the shock mount right there. But the whole cart was yellow originally, And I decided it was kind of ugly, a little bit rusted. I think I actually have some video footage of it. I might have took some of grinding this floor down and then rebedlinering it, and also had to cut out some spots on the side here, kind of flatten it down for the battery to fit in. I still need to make a floor, but that'll be hopefully a later video that I'm actually recording what I'm doing, and all of you can keep up with the progress on this. But like I said, I don't think anybody has really documented anything like this from a off-road cart to a street cart. So I'm hoping I can get all of you kind of caught up with this, and then we will be able to move forward with everybody caught up on what is going on. So I also replaced just about every brake component. Brake caliper, the e-brake cable actually snapped on me because we couldn't get this caliper to bleed originally because the bleeder is below where the fluid comes in. So we ended up taking this off, flipping it, and we bled it off the rotor and then put it back on. But yeah, the e-brake cable snapped. This is a new caliper, new pads, rotor's old. This line is the only old line, runs up to an aftermarket master cylinder. The original one mounts here, but whoever owned it before me cut that bracket off. So this is what we had to do. That runs to a cable on the brake pedal, and that's it for the brakes. I only have one rear. I don't know how that's gonna hold up in autocross. Probably, this does have attachments for front calipers, so that may be a future thing. Throttle is stock throttle cable ran. It's actually just up here right now, but this will clamp onto the 459. It used to have a ball, but the 459 does not need that. So yeah, that'll be another future video thing that I will show how all that goes in. I'll also probably do another video on all the wiring for this because it'd be a lot just to fit in here. So yeah, that'll be a future thing too. Also, before I get to the last thing I can really think of, we did put Hoosiers on the front. These are just the stock wheels, and then the rear has golf cart tires on ITP 12-inch wheels. I think it's a 2+5 offset in the rear, and these are 18 by 8-8s for the front and the Hoosiers. But anyways, the last thing I can think of is these upper and lower ball joints and the tie rod, which I do have right here, about to go on. I could not find the ball joints for this. This is a Tomberlin Crossfire 150, not the R. The 150R is a 14 millimeter here. This is a 12. So when you look up ball joints, they don't come up. So basically what I did, and I'm hoping this holds up, these are tie rod ends. They're 12 by 12 millimeter tie rod ends versus, well, I threw them away, but this is the problem I have. I had to buy 4 sets of tie rod ends because one is normal thread and the other is reverse thread, but on these arms it's all normal thread. You don't use reverse thread, so I'm basically throwing away half, and for now that's my only solution for ball joint replacement. I don't know if anybody else has figured anything out. If you have, please let me know, because I don't know how these tie rods are going to hold up. I'm assuming it'll be okay because it is a go-kart, and these are pretty big tie rods. But please let me know if they do actually sell ball joint replacements for the regular 150, not the R, because I'm honestly not sure. And it sucks having to buy 4 sets of, I guess, ball joints, only to use 2 on each side. I ended up having 8 ball joints. I can only use 4. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of. I also put boots over the steering rack, and like I just showed you, tie rod ends are about to go on. But that's pretty much it that I can think of that I've done so far. And also seat, that's self-explanatory, obviously different, and different harness. But really, that's all I can think that I've done so far. I do want to video how I end up mounting the 459 and the CVT. I gotta replace the e-brake cable, so I'll do a video on that. When I wire up the headlights, to do that. And then obviously, whenever I have this thing ready to autocross, I'll post videos of that. And like I said, do a video of how this wiring harness is ran. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think this will be a good video to get everybody kind of caught up on where I'm at with this project. And basically when you decide, well, I guess not when you decide, but whenever I decide to make another video on stuff that I've done, y'all will all be caught up and understand where I'm at. And this is not just out of the blue, you know, right in your face, like basically what did you do to get to this point? I wish I'd started recording earlier, but I didn't. So this is kind of my solution to get everyone caught up on what is going on. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Hopefully we'll have another video out following this one pretty soon and continue after that, and hopefully be able to make this into a little series. So yep, see you guys later.